I've always thought stone buildings and structures were really cool, but I've never made one myself, so today I'm going to. I have three goals. Goal one is to find somewhere suitable to make my attempt. Goal two is to build something notable that I can be proud of and that can be used in more ways than just looking cool. And goal three is to do it all before the sun goes down in 1 hour.
All right, we are out here in the Nevada desert. Of course, it's pretty desolate, but it's got some beautiful mountains and a water tower. And so right now we're gonna go up to there, to that cliff face. You might recognize it from my solo ascent dramatic retelling video, in which I climbed that and made it all dramatic with music and whatnot. But now we're gonna go up there. We're gonna see if it has the rocks that I need. Of course, I don't know what kind of rocks I do need, because again, I've never done this before. We're gonna go see if it has the rocks that I need, and if not, we're gonna keep on moving, find somewhere else. Though, obviously I don't have a ton of time, just because the sun sets in almost exactly 1 hour. I think even if I don't achieve all three goals from this video, then I'm still gonna be pretty satisfied with today, just because it is such a nice view, such a great day out. And so it's just always nice to get out of the house and do something. So even if I technically don't reach my goals, you know, this trip wouldn't have been a total bust. I think sometimes when people imagine beautiful mountains, they tend to picture green mountains covered in trees and they've got waterfalls and all that, which of course that is beautiful, don't get me wrong. I love that just as much as the next guy, if not more. But there is something I've always loved and will always love about rocky desert mountains sticking up out of the flat desert ground. I just think they're underrated, and you get a lot of them in the western United States. They just don't get the attention that I feel like they deserve. Though I think there are definitely pros to that as well. One being, well, that was such a welcome surprise. Did not see that coming. Scared me a bit. You might have been able to see on the video. Definitely got jump scared, and it cut me off from what I was saying. But beautiful, huge rabbit. I'm glad I got to capture that on here for you guys. But yeah, as I was saying, there are some pros to how underrated this part of the world is. One being that I get to be out somewhere as beautiful as this, and be completely alone. You know, I won't see anyone on the mountains or in the desert for hours and hours, if not days. And so I just get it all to myself. And there's something about that makes it even more beautiful. And here we go. The path, about halfway up the mountain. Here's my view. It's pretty beautiful. Right over there at the end, that's the cliff that I'm heading towards. So we're gonna go there, check out the rock situation, and see the great view, and then we'll judge what we do from there. And just on the other side of these rocks, we should find that cliff. There it is. So far, I'm not seeing a ton of rocks, but I haven't been looking around that hard. I've mostly just been enjoying this view, which I'll show you guys the great views in just a second. I'm a little worried that if there aren't sufficient rocks here, then I'm gonna have to go further down that way, farther into the desert, which would normally be fine, except for that, again, I just don't have that much time. All right, upon further inspection, I mean, there are a lot of rocks. They're small. They're small. There are some big ones. There's some big ones there, and there's some big ones over there. So I think this should be good. I think we should be able to use the rocks here. It'll just be a little bit more of a challenge than it would have been if I was far into the desert. It is pretty beautiful though, you can't deny it. I mean, I know there's a town here, Wendover, but still, I mean, look at these mountains. Look at these plains. I guess are they plains if it's all desert? I don't know, but it's flatlands and it's pretty beautiful. I mean, it's a gorgeous scenery. All right, so I'm gonna set up right here. I think this spot should be good for what I'm doing. Yeah, so I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna start collecting rocks. My first thing that I want to build, just to start out with, is those rock cairns. You've probably seen these before, or at least heard of them. They're just those towers of rocks. So I'm gonna start building one of those, see how it goes, maybe build a few more, and then we'll continue from there. We're just gonna start my pile right there. What a throw. Oh, that one wasn't so good. All right. We will start with these. We will build a rock cairn right here, and then we'll see how it looks. I'm trying roughly to keep them flat, so one rock at a dip, and then back up all this point, rock at a dip, in that dip, keep every rock about the level. Again, I've never. Oh, that was fun. Well, further proof that I've never done this before, and I have no idea what I'm doing. All right, here's my first one. I know, quite underwhelming, but you know, it's up to like here on me, so it's not too bad. Now, I would love to build one more about this same size next to it, and then I'm gonna try to do a cool arched one. If that second one works, that's like 2 cairns, and then there's a longer rock on top connecting them. I think that could look cool. And then if that works out, we will start my final project of this video. I have to be careful picking up the rocks because some of them have spiders underneath. And desert spiders are the worst. I hate them, they're just so gross. All right. Got all the pieces I want, I think, and we're gonna go from here. My idea for this one is to use this as my bottom piece, but you can see it's not flat at the bottom. So I have some other rocks that I'm gonna stack underneath here to sort of make it like there's a bit of a table situation going on. Whew. I'll tell you, these ones are a lot heavier. All right, I'm gonna start with these and we'll go from there. This one, more than either of those two, needs to be stable. If it's not, you know, could hurt me a lot. All right, it doesn't look like anything yet, but give me 1 minute. This guy is heavy. I cannot pick it up, so I've been crab walking it all the way over here, and I'm gonna lay it across these two without smashing my fingers or my toes or any other part of me, and hopefully it'll be stable. So let's test that out. It took about 10 minutes to get it over here, by the way, and it was only like 100 feet away. It's crazy. You know what? Starting to think maybe I did not think this through. Oh, come on. Oh, my fingers. No one moved. All right. It stays. Of course, if I tried to sit on it now, I would most certainly knock it over, and that would hurt really bad. But hey, until I stabilize it more, it's not too bad. That's a bench. Oh yeah, it's a bench. I forgot to mention. That's a bench. All right, I've added another stack of rocks right there. So that's 3. And then I added a 4th one right there. So that's 4. So now there are 4 stacks of rocks underneath this bench. So now we will see if it is sturdy enough for me to sit on it. Here goes nothing. Test number 1. Hopefully the only test. Okay, hey, a little wobbly, but feels sturdy, like it won't fall down unless I like push with all my might, obviously. So yeah, I've got a nice place to sit. Feels good to sit, I'll tell you. I mean, it hasn't even been that long, but moving all those rocks is hard. So it feels nice to sit for a bit. Very good, but now we're done sitting because we've got one more thing to build right here. All right, we're using some pretty large rocks for the base. I think we're gonna go for 3 legs. One here, here, and here. So this is the base of leg number 1. Again, the hard part will be getting the tabletop onto it, because yes, it is a table. So getting the tabletop will be hard because the one I found is about twice as big as this. So we might have to come up with a different method, or maybe I'll just power through it and we figure it out. But we'll figure it out. I'm telling you now, if my hands are cut open by the end of this video, I will not be surprised. These rocks are heavy and they are sharp. I saw somewhere that 3 legs is actually more stable than 4 because you can't wobble with 3 legs. I would like the table to be higher up than the bench, obviously, but I'm worried that if it's higher up, I won't be able to get the tabletop on. All right, so I've made them tall enough, but oh boy, I'm crushing my fingers, that hurts. Ugh. But upon further inspection, that rock that I was planning to use for the tabletop is actually too big that I will never be able to lift it up. I mean, I would have had to have started training religiously at the gym years ago to ever want to lift that up. And I never expected to like pick it up because I couldn't even pick this guy up. But I thought maybe I could do that crab walk that I did with this. But no, it is just too big. So we pivoted. But again, even though it's smaller, oh man, this guy is heavy. But I can pick it up, which is helpful. This is not good, it's falling. Okay, hey, it's not fully on this guy, so maybe I'll move it a bit. But hey, a table. It's not even wobbly at all. Okay, hold on a minute. Check this out. All right. Chair, table. Let's experiment. Let's sit at the table, see what we think. All right, here we go. Yeah, hey, this is pretty nice. is actually quite nice. I don't mind this at all, especially for a first attempt. I'm happy with this. This is not the worst thing I've ever made. And I'll let you get a view of what it's like to sit here. We've got my 2 original rock cairns behind me. We've got my table. It's a little shorter than my knees, but it's not too bad. We've got the sun still up, hasn't set yet, which is good. Of course, the rest of the mountain is behind me. We got Wendover, the salt flats, the air base. It's a pretty good setup. This is so nice. I mean, I'm hungry.
Hi, hungry.
That's so stupid. Look at how beautiful that sunset is. That's another great thing about being out in the desert is you get the most beautiful sunsets and sunrises you will ever see in your entire life.
You may be asking, why do all this? And to that, I have one simple answer. Why not? Of course, I wish I had days to be out in the desert, working on this structure and making something huge and extravagant. And not so small and simple. But we don't always have time for grand adventures. So why not take a small one, only an hour or 2, and make something fun and unique? So I hope you guys were able to get some enjoyment out of this video and maybe some inspiration too.